Hello friends, Frogopolis here, and yes, we are doing another Bigfoot movie. Is this just gonna be my thing? Hey, look there's the frog that talks about Bigfoot movies. Maybe I'm just so deep into this that I've forgotten who I am. My friends and families are worried. I'll just go into the woods for hours just looking for Bigfoot, and one day I'll find him. Or I just think they're fun. Today I'll be looking at Big Legend. We're introduced to Tyler and his girlfriend Natalie as they go for a fun little jaunt deep in the woods, far away from civilization where nothing bad ever happens. And we can see that Tyler is going to propose to her. Ooh. And they just have a nice day camping out in the woods, doing some hiking, and Tyler eventually proposes to her. And, ladies and gentlemen, she says yes. And everything's pretty howdy-doody until the night. You see, at night, Tyler actually has military training, so he sets up little indicators just in case something gets near their tent. And it's good he did, because, get this, in the middle of the night they start hearing strange noises. Tyler goes out to investigate, and he sees that one of his little tripwires has been tripped, and he also finds a really nice rock sculpture. But before he can admire such brilliant craftsmanship, his now fiancée yells out, and when he looks around, he sees that she's being dragged with the tent away from the campsite. Now, what terrible creature could do this? Maybe a creature that is particularly big, and maybe legendary? Okay, that was bad. I'm keeping it in. He tries to go after the creature, but it's too fast. Look at how fast it is. It's zooming. So now we're a year later, and poor Tyler's trying to still deal with what happened. You see him talk to a psychiatrist, and you get the idea that he's tried to push away the idea that what happened to his fiancée was supernatural. He also has a heart-to-heart with his mom, where you get to learn a little more about him and his family. His mother actually believes him to an extent that there was something more that happened in the woods that day, and she encourages him to go to find answers. He also finds out that the police had dropped off a box of things that were found at the campsite. While he's looking through this box, he finds their camera, and he looks at some photos they took and reminisces about the times they had together. But while he's scrolling through those photos, he sees one that seems to catch Bigfoot off in the distance. And right then and there, Tyler knows he needs to go back to those woods and get his revenge. After a montage, he gets in his truck and sets out. And for a bit, nothing really happens. He just kind of looks back and forth trying to find Bigfoot. He finds some hair on a tree. You kind of get to see his survival skills at work. He searches all around the area where him and his fiancée were a year ago, but finds nothing too significant. But little does he know, he's been being stalked by Bigfoot this whole time. So when he gets back to his truck, Bigfoot comes in for the attack. He's destroyed his car, he throws a log through one of the windows, he's just smashing on it, and just when Tyler is about to shoot Bigfoot and end all this, he runs away. But why? Well, because another hunter showed up and scared him off. Here we meet Eli. So Tyler and Eli get talking, and apparently nobody bothers to point out the giant log that is just rammed through the back of his car. But Eli does suggest that it may have been a grizzly bear that tore the car door off its hinges. And I guess you just didn't get a good look at the 8-foot-tall creature that ran away on 2 legs. But that's fine, we don't have to worry about that right now. For now, they go back to Eli's camping site and have a couple of beers. Eli's a real outdoorsman, and he is actually hunting here illegally. He admits this, and we also know this because they're on private property. This private property is owned by Xylon Incorporated. So it looks like we got another classic Bigfoot conspiracy on our hands. So they learn more about each other, and we also find out that Eli likes to call him Chief, like, all the time.
Car trouble, Chief? Time for chit-chat, Chief. Come on, Chief. I'm Chief. I'm Chief. 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 We'll carve the deal, Chief. And Chief, argue with that, Chief. Chief. Over here, Chief. Doing, Chief. Chief. Come, Chief.
Eli's happy to help him find out what happened to his fiancée, and now they're both out looking for Bigfoot together, though Tyler does not want to admit it's Bigfoot just yet, because he still wants to stay in reality to some degree, despite being attacked by him, and having his car destroyed by him, and seeing him face to face. Eli tells him more about the area, and we see that Bigfoot has not stopped keeping an eye on Tyler, as when they get back to the camp later in the day, there's a giant log just jammed right in the middle of the fire. So now they know that Bigfoot is real close, and they eventually hear him, and Tyler just goes running off after him, before Tyler trips and face plants into the ground. Here they find Bigfoot's feeding ground, and there's just skeletons everywhere. Then Bigfoot launches a surprise attack and just chucks a rock right at Eli. So now Tyler's dragging Eli to safety while being chased by Bigfoot, and it's a pretty good scene. Good job. I have to say, the stuff with Eli and Tyler is pretty nice. I like the two. They have good chemistry together. So Tyler gets Eli to safety, but remembers that he has important supplies back at where they found Bigfoot's feeding pit, and has to make the difficult decision of leaving Eli there because the supplies are the only thing that's going to be able to save Eli's life. So he gives Eli a pistol and goes back to the place they were just attacked at. Now thankfully Bigfoot's nowhere to be seen, but he makes an even more terrifying discovery. You see, when he looks at the bones, he recognizes those bones from anywhere. Those are his wife's bones. Also, the engagement ring is there. So now Tyler this has to make sure Eli gets out of there alive. But Eli thinks he's just slowing Tyler down and putting him in more danger. We get a bit more character building between the two until Eli takes it upon himself to leave on his own. This is devastating for Tyler, who's made good friends with Eli and cares about his well-being. So it only gets much worse for Tyler when he finds Eli being eaten by Bigfoot. He's just chowing down there, enjoying himself some Eli. So Tyler gets chased down by Bigfoot, and Tyler eventually just has to fight him, but gets the upper hand, and even shoots him, but you can't just take down Bigfoot with one measly little shot. So he runs away, and now Tyler has to prepare himself to avenge both his fiancée and Eli. And you know what that means? Another montage. Tyler sets up this big trap that Wile E. Coyote will be proud of, and when the night falls, he's ready for round 3. So he lays on the horn of his destroyed car to make enough noise to lure Bigfoot to him, and then this starts attacking him with everything he's got. It's a fun action sequence. I like how they put it together. Tyler even gets his one-liner before setting Bigfoot on fire. It's great.
Burn, you son of a bitch.
Tyler's adrenaline finally wears off and he collapses into the snow. We see that he's saved by people who I guess saw the gigantic fire that had been set. So he gets taken to the hospital, and here's where we get the part that made me want to talk about the movie in the first place. So while he's recovering in the hospital and talking to a nurse, the nurse says that there's someone that wants to meet him, and in comes this old guy on a wheelchair called Jackson Wells. Now, Jackson believes everything Tyler went through and asks if he killed Bigfoot, which Tyler was unsure of. When asked who he is, Jackson goes on this big speech about how he's trying to get together a group of people, and I think you can see where this is going. Big Legend ends with an Avengers-style sequel stinger, and tells us that Tyler and Jackson will return in The Monster Chronicles. Now this was quite a surprise for me. The movie was just like, yep, we're doing a shared universe. Am I just gonna be watching some random movie where a guy is like fighting a werewolf and the werewolf is about to kill him, but then suddenly it gets hit with like an arrow and the guy looks to his right in surprise and there's Tyler standing there and he's like, hey, who are you? And Tyler's just like, I've had to fight a big hairy guy myself. Have you heard of the Monster Chronicles? And it just cuts to black, and it's only me watching, so I'm just losing my shit in my room. Now, unfortunately, while there is a page for the Monster Chronicles, I don't think Big Legend did well enough for it to get these proposed sequels, which is a shame because that would have been pretty fun. So what we end up getting is a somewhat above average Bigfoot movie that I would say is worth giving a shot. Now, I would like to take this time to give a bit of an update on what my plans are for the rest of the year and probably early next year. I am starting a project where I'll be talking about all of the Planet of the Apes movies, and I'm pretty excited for this, so look forward to that. I also have a few more things I would like to cover during that time too. I would also like to thank everyone that have checked out my videos so far. I'm still pretty new to this, but I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope you're enjoying watching these. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye!